Hey, this is Jim the Winded Baptist. Just climbed up the mound of ancient Colossae. You may be able to see behind me mountains of Hamoz. There's not Homaz. And I will turn the camera around. You can see why I'm winded, because the bus is, well, it's gone now, but was down there on that road. And I was trying to keep up with Susie. So, yes, Susie first. Susie was first. Susie beat me. You see a vineyard down here. Beautiful land. And then here are the Hamoz mountains. Very pretty. Snow on top of them, along with the clouds. All that is here in this particular area is this mound. It's been relatively untouched. In a few minutes, we'll be going to the necropolis, which is where they are beginning to do some excavation. And necropolis literally means city of the dead, but it's a fancy word for cemetery. And I don't have much to say about this at this particular point, but please read the book of Colossians. It's a short letter that Paul wrote to the city that was once here. And I will add to this recording later when I am able to talk. In complete sentences, that is. Here is part of the excavation that has taken place. This is a tomb, and you can see the entrance here. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to go in to see it a little better, but this was from the 3rd or 4th century AD. They are thinking that Colossae was here from at least the 5th century BC, so a very ancient city. It lost some of its power and authority during the Greek period, which would be from roughly 330 BC to 31 BC. And then during the Roman period, it was not a real prevalent city. And the reason they know that is because they are not finding any Roman architecture here. These graves that I hope you can see, I'll try to zoom in a little bit there so you can see. These graves are of common people, and they would often put multiple family members in one grave. They had large stones over the top of them, and so they would make a slip entrance where they could just slide in a new family member rather than trying to take the stone off. So this is the primary excavation that they have done so far, and it's very, very interesting. We just had a presentation from a professor from the local university at Pamakula, and he is leading this excavation. So that is very exciting. At any rate, here's what we have of Colossae that has been unearthed. They have, unfortunately, a lot of these graves had been the victims of robbers who have come in over the centuries and taken things. But they are still finding some pottery and a few bones, although the bones are not connected together. They haven't found any full skeletons or anything like that. But very interesting place and what they're doing. And you can see a little bit through these trees over here, the mound that we walked up earlier. I'll try to come up here and zoom a bit if I can. It's really hard to see between these trees, but there is a grassy hill that is flat on the top, and that was the Colossae mound that we walked up, and it caused me to huff and puff and pant like an old dog. Maybe a reason for that. So at any rate, I hope to add a little bit more. We're going to Laodicea and Hierapolis when we leave here, and I hope to add a little bit more to this video. Here is a better view of the Colossae mound that you can see, and it's flat on the top. And also about these graves that they have found. I hope that doesn't give you seasickness as I swirl around here. They've uncovered 72 graves. Again, they put multiple people in them, but they expect eventually to unearth as many as 2,000. And they know this is the edge of the city because that's where they put the cemeteries. So they will eventually work their way in, and maybe in my lifetime, we'll be able to see what is under the mound at Colossae. One more thing before I forget, and I'm trying to help you to see the mound again, but it's hard to see it through that fence. The graves that they have unearthed here are from the 1st through the 3rd centuries. So we're still looking at 2,000 to 1,800-year-old graves, and very, very fascinating that all of this is here and as intact as they are. Hey, it's me again. And here we have the entrance to the city of Laodicea. It rivals Ephesus as far as what has been excavated for us to visit and to see what it was like. But you have these big pillars on either side, as well as these walls that you can see there and there to welcome you into the city of Laodicea. And so this was one of the main streets through the city, and hope to be able to have time and opportunity to show you a little bit more as we go. This was Church of Laodicea, and it was actually built in around 313 AD. So it's 4th century, but it was one of the first structures built in the world primarily as a church, because earlier than that, churches met in homes or in other space that they could find or rent even. And so this has great historic value from that particular perspective. Plus, it's really a beautiful place. During archaeological excavations, they make these piles of stones that are classified according to their type and color and that sort of thing. So then they can begin to reconstruct after they get all of this part done. This particular area is the agora. It would be the state agora. I believe there are 5 different agoras on this property that they have excavated. But if you remember from Smyrna, the agoras, the state agora would be a place where there were government buildings and officials, some shops and so forth, but certainly not like the farm market sort of agora. This is a smaller theater. You can see they've done a lot of renovating work on it. Beautiful stage that I'm pretty sure is not the original wood. But this is really gorgeous. I'm not sure how many people this one would hold, but certainly considerably less than the what's called the Great Theater, that still needs to be cleaned up quite a bit. Let me make a slight correction here. This brown area is wooden. That would be the orchestra. The steps going up, and that platform would be the actual stage for performances. Here is yet another theater. It appears to be even smaller in Laodicea, and many spare parts that they, I suppose, will figure out within the next few years where each one of them goes to recreate it as it was. This area here is known as gymnasium or hippodrome. They have track and field events, that sort of thing here. And this is purported to be the largest in Asia Minor back in the 1st century. So this place has been here for a while, seen a lot of history. Very cool. While I have a couple minutes, want to make an addition. The smaller theater that I saw and recorded just a minute or so ago, according to recording time, it would be where they would have civic meetings, your town council kind of thing. That's why it's so much smaller, and yet the acoustics would still be good so that everybody could meet there and take care of the city's business. All right, next stop is Hierapolis, and hopefully I can get some footage for you there. But wait, before we go to Hierapolis, let me just say that Laodicea was a very wealthy city, very opulent. This is the seventh last church that is spoken of in Revelation, the message of the seven churches. I believe it's in chapter 3. And it was the only church that Jesus did not say anything positive about. He said, I wish you were either hot or cold, but you are neither. You are lukewarm, and so I'm going to barf you out, vomit you, spit you out of my mouth. And so all this opulence that they had was not leading them toward God, but away from God. And so the church at Laodicea, despite being small, was expected to be faithful and do like the other churches, and that is not to compromise with the ways of the pagan culture, because all the Christians were minority groups, particularly in the first century, because it was just beginning. But throughout the Roman Empire until the 4th century, when it became state religion. All right, I think I'm finished there, and see you in Hierapolis. So this is Hierapolis. I believe the only reference specifically to Hierapolis is in Colossians 4:13. Paul just briefly mentions it along with Laodicea. But these look like graves, sarcophagi, or whatever you say. There's more than one. So this is kind of what it looks like. I don't know much about Hierapolis at all, mostly because it's really not mentioned in the Bible except that one time. So yes, I do remember now that he did say primarily what we'd be seeing was a necropolis. So this would be the cemetery. You can see all that they have excavated here at this particular point. If there's anything of interest beyond the cemetery, I will certainly get back on and let you know. Hierapolis has a huge necropolis, and these are the actual city gates. As I said in Colossae, the necropolis or the cemetery was on the outside of the city proper, or on the outside limits of the town. And so we're going to walk through here. Don't see a whole lot that will look any better than what we're looking at right now, but I wanted you to be able to see this. Okay, as I'm walking out of the main street, or a main street of Hierapolis, realized that one of the tombs was from the 1st century, and most of the others were 2nd and 3rd century. The street is from probably the 5th and 6th centuries. So, long history of different eras, all here in one place. And I hope you can see those beautiful mountains. I believe those are the Hamos that we saw earlier today. Okay, you are now looking at the necropolis level down into the valley below. You can see the water coming out. I hope that you're able to see the water coming out. And as much as this looks like ice or snow or some sort of glacier, this is actually calcium sediment from the water over the centuries. And the folk down below call this the Cotton Castle because of the way it looks from the bottom. I hope you can see from here, this is a theater of Hierapolis. Due to time constraints, we're not able to go up to it any closer than this, but I thought I would give you a pretty cool look. And this ends our day of touring. We've been to Colossae, we've been to Laodicea, now Hierapolis, and next time will probably be Greece. Until then, shalom.